Can your new Sleeper Dynasty League survive past the startup draft? Most commissioner problems are not caused by one bad lineup decision. They come from settings that were never connected. A startup that drafts the wrong number of players, a taxi squad nobody understands, or future picks being traded before dues and deadlines are settled. In this walkthrough, we will build one fictional 12-team league from the format screen through the first rookie draft. I will separate Sleeper's current platform behavior from the house rules I recommend, so you know what the app enforces and what belongs in your constitution. Start by choosing Dynasty, not Keeper and not Redraft. Sleeper describes Dynasty as the format where teams keep their entire roster every season, which is why player age, rookie picks, and long-term trading all matter. Before you invite managers, decide whether quarterbacks receive normal one-quarterback value or premium superflex value, how many wide receivers and flexes start, and whether tight ends get a reception bonus. Those are editorial choices, but they change the startup board immediately. For this example, we are using 12 teams, 1 quarterback, full PPR, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flex spots. Next, build the player economy. Our fictional league starts 9, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flexes. Add 16 bench slots for a 25-player active roster, for taxi slots, and 3 injured reserve slots. This is a recommendation, not a sleeper default. The goal is enough depth for prospects and trades without making every waiver period empty. Sleeper says a typical Dynasty startup draft has rounds based on the league's roster spots and taxi squad. With 25 roster spots plus 4 taxi slots, this example produces a 29-round startup. Verify that number on the draft settings screen before you set the date. Now configure the startup draft. Check the player pool, draft order, draft type, timer, and total rounds against the roster you just created. If managers can trade startup picks, use a slower timer so negotiations do not turn into panic clicks. Sleeper supports trading picks during a draft and accepted deals update on the draft board. Your constitution should still say whether the commissioner may pause for a completed trade, how long a disconnected manager gets, and what happens after an accidental pick. Run a mock before draft night with 1 or 2 helpers. A 10-minute test can expose a missing round, wrong scoring rule, or impossible lineup before 12 managers are watching. Taxi squads need explicit rules. Sleeper currently allows 0 through 10 taxi slots and lets commissioners set player experience from 1 through 4 years or no maximum. It also lets you establish the deadline after which no new player can be added to taxi. Players may always move out, but after the deadline they cannot move back in. Sleeper also says it does not provide taxi rating. For our league, use 4 slots, rookies only, and lock additions at the start of week 1. Remember that a waiver or free agent pickup must first land on the active roster or bench before you move that player to taxi. Put all 4 rules in writing. Plan the rookie draft before the startup finishes. Sleeper distinguishes the initial startup from later supplemental drafts, and supplemental drafts can be configured from 1 to 10 rounds. Once the initial startup is complete, the Dynasty League can run those later drafts. Our example uses 4 rookie rounds each offseason. The platform can run the draft. Your constitution must define the order. A practical house rule is reverse regular season max points for among non-playoff teams, then reverse playoff finish for the rest. That recommendation helps discourage deliberate lineup tanking, but it is not an automatic sleeper requirement. Publish the tiebreakers before the first season starts, not after 2 teams tie. Future pick trading is where a Dynasty League becomes active and where orphan teams are created. Sleeper allows Dynasty managers to trade current and future draft picks, either alone or with players. During a draft, accepted pick trades update on the draft board. One important platform sequence: supplemental draft picks cannot be traded until the startup draft has been completed. My commissioner rule is separate from the app. If a manager trades a pick from a future season, that manager prepays dues for that season. This protects the league if the team is later abandoned. Also define the number of future years managers may trade, the review window, and whether commissioner vetoes exist only for collusion. The app handles slots and transactions, but your constitution handles judgment. Write the dues schedule, payment deadline, orphan team replacement process, rookie draft order, tiebreakers, anti-tanking method, trade review standard, future pick horizon, taxi eligibility, taxi lock date, and penalties for an illegal roster. Give managers a version number and require a league vote for material changes. Avoid rules that depend on what the commissioner meant. If a deadline is midnight, name the time zone. If a trade can be reversed, list the narrow reason. If an orphan inherits prepaid dues, say so. Clear rules are not bureaucracy. They are what lets 12 people trade confidently without asking for a ruling every week. Here is the completed blueprint. 12-team, full PPR Dynasty. 9 starters, 16 bench spots, for taxi slots, 3 injured reserve slots, and a 29-round startup that accounts for the roster in taxi. Run 4-round rookie supplemental drafts. Allow future pick trades only after the startup sequence permits them, and require prepaid dues for every future year traded. Publish the constitution before invitations go out, then test the draft room before launch. Sleeper supplies the tools, but a durable league comes from connecting every setting to a written rule. Which choice is hardest in your league? Startup depth, taxi eligibility, or future pick limits? Put it in the comments, and subscribe to Fantasy Football Blueprint for the next commissioner guide.